The hand paused with the envelope already halfway lifted. It stayed there. Not high. Not low. Just enough to feel the weight inside shift and settle again. The paper bent slightly where the fingers pressed. The same bend as before. The envelope had been folded once, then unfolded, then folded again along the same tired line. It rested against the palm. Set down. Picked up. Set down again. Nothing around it asked for attention. The room held its breath without knowing why. The envelope waited on the flat surface. Its edge aligned, then misaligned, then aligned once more. Each time it moved only a little. The hand hovered, then withdrew. The envelope remained. This had been happening for a while. Not hours, not minutes, just the same motion returning. The envelope was checked, not opened. Turned over, then turned back. The flap stayed closed. The seal stayed unbroken. The name written there did not change, no matter how many times it was looked at and then not looked at. The envelope carried its quiet weight. It was placed closer to the edge, then pulled back. The corner lined up with nothing in particular. The hand smoothed the paper once, slowly, as if removing dust that was not there. The envelope made no sound. The moment had not arrived yet. Everything still felt ordinary enough to delay. The air did not shift. No signal appeared. The envelope stayed patient, as objects do. It accepted every small adjustment without complaint. It did not hurry the hand or resist it. The fingers curled, then opened. Again. The envelope was lifted just enough to cast a thin shadow beneath it. The shadow looked deeper than it should have been. It lingered even when the envelope was set back down, as if unsure whether it should leave. The hand moved away, returned, paused. There was still time, or so it seemed. Tom sat nearby, quiet and unclaimed. The envelope remained unopened, its contents pressed flat, waiting for the exact moment that had not yet announced itself. Something about it felt almost finished, but not quite. The envelope was moved to a different place. Not far, just enough to suggest progress. It sat closer to the edge now, where it could have been picked up without leaning in. The hand passed over it once, twice, without touching. The paper stayed flat. The fold line caught the light, then lost it again. Other motions filled the space. The surface was cleared of nothing in particular. An invisible order was restored. The envelope remained part of that order, neither center nor forgotten. It waded through these small adjustments, unchanged. Time slid forward without ceremony. The envelope was lifted once more. This time it stayed in the air a second longer. The fingers pressed along the crease, reinforcing it. The flap was traced but not opened. The seal stayed intact, thin and final. The envelope was turned sideways, then upright again, as if orientation might help. It did not. The hand lowered it slowly. Something shifted, though nothing had happened. The moment that had been expected did not arrive. It thinned instead, stretched out, and quietly passed by. There was no sound to mark it, no sign that it had been missed. The envelope felt slightly heavier now. It was placed back where it had been before. The exact spot. The edge aligned. The corner squared. The hand hesitated, then moved away with less intention than before. The motion lacked its earlier care. The envelope stayed. A breath was taken without noticing. Another followed. The light remained the same. Nothing interrupted the ordinary flow of the room. Yet the envelope no longer felt like it was waiting for something to begin. It waited in a different way. The hand returned, but only briefly. The envelope was nudged, not picked up. It slid a fraction of an inch and stopped. The paper made a faint sound this time, softer than expected. It was the only noise. That sound lingered longer than it should have. The envelope was not opened. Not now. The space around it seemed to settle, as if an invisible door had closed somewhere nearby. The envelope rested within that closure, still and exact. Whatever timing had once been possible no longer pressed forward. The envelope remained what it had always been. But the moment had already gone past it. The envelope was noticed again later, not because it called attention. It had stayed where it was left. Flat, square, unchanged. What felt different was the space around it. The air no longer held the same openness. The stillness had weight now settled in. The hand approached without urgency. There was no hovering this time. The envelope was lifted fully, held without adjustment. The paper did not bend. The fingers did not search for the crease. The motion was practiced, almost distant, as if repeating something learned too late. The flap was touched, not opened. The seal pressed back, firm and indifferent. It had dried completely. Earlier softness was gone. The envelope no longer seemed willing to move between states. It was what it was. That was when it became clear. Not with a thought, not with a sentence, just a quiet recognition that arrived and stayed. The moment had not only passed, it had closed. It had taken something small with it and left nothing visible behind. The envelope was turned over once. The name was seen fully this time. There was no pause in reading it. No need to look away. The letters sat calmly, doing their work without asking anything further. The envelope was lower back down. The surface felt cooler than before. The placement was careful, but the care no longer carried hope. It was maintenance now, habit without expectation. The hand stayed nearby, resting flat for a second longer than necessary. There was no next step waiting underneath the pause. The sequence had ended earlier, unnoticed. The envelope had not changed. It had not opened itself. It had not grown heavier. It had not demanded anything. It had simply remained available until availability no longer mattered. The realization did not bring urgency. It brought stillness. The envelope existed as proof of timing rather than intention. Everything it contained was still there. Every word untouched. Every sentence preserved exactly as it had been. That was the problem. The hand moved away. There was nothing else to try. The envelope stayed in place, complete and sealed, carrying something meant for a moment that had already slipped past. The recognition settled in quietly, without resistance. It did not ask to be corrected. It only stayed. The envelope was not moved again. It stayed where it had been placed, as if placement itself had become final. The surface beneath it collected nothing. No dust. No marks. The envelope remained exact. Its edges still sharp. Its folds still visible. Time continued, but not around it. The hand did not return. There was no reaching, no second attempt disguised as habit. The absence of motion settled in naturally, without effort. The envelope belonged to that absence now. Other small things happened. The light shifted slightly, then steadied. The air changed temperature without drawing notice. None of it altered the envelope's position. It no longer asked to be checked. It had crossed into something fixed. The envelope held everything it ever would. The words inside stayed untouched, perfectly arranged for a moment that no longer existed. They had not faded. They had not lost meaning. They had simply lost their place. Nothing could return that place. The envelope did not feel heavy anymore. It felt complete. Finished in the way unfinished things sometimes become. It required no decision now. No choice remained inside it. It was just paper. Just a fold. Just a sealed edge. The room accepted this quietly. There was no adjustment period. No sense of loss announced itself. What had been missed did not echo. It did not repeat. It stayed absent, clean and uninterrupted. The envelope rested within that absence. It could be opened. Technically, the seal could still be broken. But whatever would be read would arrive alone, detached from a moment it had been meant to meet. That knowledge sat nearby, unspoken, steady. So the envelope stayed closed. Not as an act, as a fact. It remained where it was, carrying something intact and unreachable at the same time. The space around it no longer suggested movement or delay. There was no path back to the moment it belonged to. Only the envelope. Still. Sealed. And exactly where it would remain. Not every opportunity disappears. Some simply do not return. Quietly. Without warning. If you have ever thought, I should have acted then, this story may have reached you.